Today is April 12th, 2025. My name is Charles Suter, and today I'm presenting a new series called Process Reengineering. This is part one. My major message is that reengineering processes, your motive for doing so is to get better outcomes. Process reengineering is focused on improving an existing process to get better, faster, and cheaper results. And by cheaper results, I mean less resources going into the process. There are certain reengineering principles that, if followed, will allow a change agent, which could be you, to achieve good results. Even after reengineering a process, the people who work the process can be trained in reengineering principles to continue finding new ways to improve the process. Also, by benchmarking other similar processes in other organizations, other new ways to improve the process can be discovered. When new approaches are introduced to an organization's process, it might trigger other process improvements as well. So there could be a chain reaction in terms of process improvements. In essence, process reengineering is continuous. It's not a once and done effort. This series of presentations will focus on 12 of the most important principles in process reengineering. These principles are guidelines to be applied as appropriate, but each principle must fit the organization and the process to be engineered. Don't force a principle if it doesn't fit. First principle. To begin, you have to find an outcome that's desired for a current process, and then a way for creating it. Select a process that's important and worth the effort to improve it. It will take time and effort to improve a process, so whatever you're going to apply at process engineering to improve, make sure the process and the outcome is important. For every outcome, there is a set of inputs and a process required to achieve it. So, outcomes are the result of inputs into a process. Define the current process in sufficient detail so that you actually understand it, how each of the parts contribute to producing the desired outcome. No process is worth spending the effort to improve it unless the outcome is worth it. So normally, anyone doing work will find ways to improve the work so that work is easier. People want to get results quickly and efficiently, so the people doing the work are motivated to make their life easier, if it's possible, on their own without having to do so. However, many processes with multiple tasks performed by multiple people often tend to get conditioned and habitual and locked into how work gets done. And the status quo gets locked in by the culture of the organization. It's hard to break. The only way to break out of an ingrained habit and routine of doing work is intentionally seeking ways to improve the process. Process improvement number 2. What you're looking for are non-value-added activities in the process. Find undesirable byproducts or non-valued outcomes, and then eliminate any inputs that are producing those. Eliminate them. Focus all attention on how best to achieve the most highly valued outcomes. Eliminate unneeded inputs to achieve the most important outcomes. Many steps in a process are not value-added and can be eliminated or simplified without any impact to the outcomes. The focus for reengineering is how best to complete each task individually and the network of tasks collectively so as to achieve the desired outcome with minimum of inputs and the maximization of outputs. The first step in reengineering is to ask probing questions, such as, what if we eliminated, reduced, or modified this or that task and step in the process? By challenging traditional ways of doing business, finding alternative ways of getting work done, and then testing those changes, you can discover the real benefits of any proposed change. If a big reduction in inputs only causes a small change in output, it might be worth the trade-off if the outcome is not, even if the outcome is not enhanced. The goal of reengineering is threefold, as I've said before. Reduce the inputs or cost, increase throughput or decrease process time, and maximize the desired outputs. Reengineering principle number 2. Empower people doing the work to find better ways to get the work done. Examine every process step to find ways to do it faster, better, and cheaper. Give the workers the responsibility to choose how best to complete each process step. Standardize how work is done with the best practices for similar tasks. In other words, if the tasks are similar, then the work done should be similar. Combine and eliminate similar and redundant steps and cross-train workers for flexibility. The best resource for finding ways to reengineering any process will come from the people who already work the process. The best resource for finding ways to improve the outcome, to deliver more and better benefits, are the customers who receive the existing outcomes. So you want to involve all the stakeholders in improving the process. By working with stakeholders of the process and asking open-ended questions, a change agent, such as yourself perhaps, may find many unseen ways to improve a process. By having an open-door policy or suggestion box for the stakeholders to suggest process improvements, many of these unsolicited ideas will be offered for consideration by the whole team. Again, brainstorming sessions with all workers present is just another way to gather innovative ideas. Now, my main message: re-engineer every process periodically to continually get best results. Almost any process can be improved if an effort is made to do so. Every stakeholder in a process has an incentive to improve the process because it means less work for them with more benefits, and so they're willing to do so whenever given the opportunity. By inviting and challenging the stakeholders to tinker with their own process, many ways can be found to re-engineer any process. Ideally, a change agent, such as yourself, who's experienced in the principles of re-engineering, will lead the engineering process. So stay tuned for my future re-engineering presentations 2, 3, and 4. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.